So when we're completing the square, what we want to do is we want to get the quadratic formula from y equals ax squared plus bx plus c into the form y equals a x minus p squared plus q. And to do this, we use the following method. So let's say, for example, I'm given y is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 2, and I want to get it into that form. The first thing I'm going to do is take this b value, divide it by 2, and then square it. It's going to be 2 divided by 2 with squared, which becomes 1. Once I have that number 1 over there, I want to plus 1 over here and minus 1 over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make a little bit of a gap. So plus 2x is going to be plus 1, and then minus 1 plus 2. And you can see there's it over there. I'm adding 0 in there. So that value is added first and then subtracted. Now, once I've got it in there, I put brackets over here. All right, so I put brackets and I factorize. And it will factorize into a really nice bracket squared, the first three terms, which will be x plus 1 all squared. All right, the trinomial. I then group these last two terms, negative 1 plus 2, and that'll become plus 1 over there. So y is equal to x plus 1 all squared plus 1. What you can see, it is now in the form that we wanted. Y equals a is equal 1, x plus x minus p squared plus q. Just like that. Okay. I extract my a, it's going to be equal to 1. My p value is negative 1, and my q value is 1. And so when I substitute this in here, all right, when I plot it, all right, substituting it back from there, we'll go back to that equation and pay attention to the plus 1 because it became a minus 1. All right, you notice the sign is different. The vertex is given by PQ, and P is negative 1, and Q is 1, so that's going to be my vertex. The A value is a smiley face, and so it ends up in this, turning at that point and then scrolling back up like that. All right, so you got Y over there and you got X. So this is going to be negative 1 and 1. Okay. That's my turning point. I don't have the y-intercept, but it will cut somewhere along the y. All right, in order to find that y-intercept, I can make x equal to 0. If I make x equal to 0, then y will become 0 plus 1 is 1 squared plus 1, which is 2. And so y will equal 2. So that value over there will be 2. And that's going to be my y-intercept. How do you find a y-intercept? You make x equal to 0, gets you your y-intercept. This particular curve has what is known as a minimum, all right, before it goes all the way up the other way. So completing the square has the first step. What we do, we take b over 2 and so step 1, b over 2 and we square it. Step 2, we add and subtract it. Right next to the x term. Whatever the x term is between there, we add and subtract it. After we do that, we then go to step 3 and we factorize the first three terms, put in brackets. And we simplify the other side as well. And we're done. All right. Okay, using those steps, step 1, take b over 2, square it. Step 2, plus and minus that number that you got between the x term and the constant. And then step 3, factorize the first three terms. All right, and simplify the constant. And we're done. Let's see if you can do this one here. Complete the square. Let's say we want to write y equals to x squared minus 2x minus 4 in the form y equals a x minus p squared plus q. Okay. Let's see if you can do that one. Okay, so in completing the square for this example, what we have is the following. The first thing is, remember we got to take the b value, which is at the moment equal to -2, and we're going to square it. So it becomes -1 squared, and that's equal to 1. Now that we have that, we are going to add and subtract 1 in there. Okay, so step 2, we're going to go y equals to x squared minus 2x. Now don't forget here, we're going to plus 1 first. We're going to plus that first. Then we're going to subtract it. All right, so always plus first, then subtract. And then after that, we're continuing with -4. Now, this over here is what I need to factorize. Okay, so we're done with step 1, we're done with step 2, we're now on step 3. And we're going to factorize that. It's going to become x minus 1 squared. And we're going to simplify the constants, that side over there, which is -5. And then we have it in this form. We have a equals to 1, p equals to 1, and q equals to -5. If we ask to sketch this, we just put pq as our vertex, and that would be the coordinate pq, which would be 1 and -5. So it would be 1 over here and -5 over here. And so that is going to be having x-intercepts and y-intercepts. All right, so we have x-intercepts and we have y-intercepts. If we want x-intercepts, we make y equals 0. If we want y-intercepts, we make x equals 0. If we want to provide more labels for the graph is just added for now. Okay, and that's how we would complete the square.